Good morning, you all. This is CSL-LA. My name is Jamie Lula. So honored to be with you this morning. And oh Lord, I'm grateful, so very thankful. I feel a blessing, divine caressing. Oh Lord, I'm grateful, so very thankful. My soul's addressing the prayers I'm dancing. When I wake up, I pray, how can I serve today? I surrender all confusion. I live in humanhood, no one's misunderstood. We are all a holy union. We are one holy human. We are one holy union. We are one holy human union. We are one holy union. We are one holy human. We are one holy human union. Oh Lord, I'm grateful, so very thankful. I feel a blessing, divine caressing. Oh Lord, I'm grateful, so very thankful. My soul's addressing the prayers I'm dancing. When I wake up, I pray, how can I serve today? I surrender all confusion. I live in humanhood, no one's misunderstood. We are all a holy union. We are one holy human. We are one holy union. We are one holy human union. We are one holy human. We are one holy union. We are one holy human union. Oh yeah.
Good morning, Reverend Dr. Jamie Lula,
Good morning, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox.
and happy Sunday to you. I love the contrast between that quite vibrant and yet touching background that you have there, and mine's white and stark. So, the yin and the yang of life, right?
Amen. Ain't it the truth?
So happy to have you with us, joining us from Michigan, as I know you're back home visiting your mom and other loved ones. And welcome to our Sunday morning celebration service. But can I need you to speak up just a little bit, Jamie? Having a hard time hearing you.
I said, thank you, Reverend Keith.
You're welcome. Welcome. So we'll see you in a bit, right? Glad to have you with us. Good morning, everyone. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles, and welcome to our Sunday morning celebration service as we gather together to connect in our mind to the oneness of life that Jamie just spoke of or sang of, the holy human, the holy unity, the holy oneness of life that exists within, as, and through each one of us. Today is Sunday, October 29th in the year 2023. And I affirm for each and every one of us that no matter where we are right now, God is. That infinite power of intelligence, of life, of love, of peace, of power and beauty. You and I are each imbued with this power, and that we celebrate today. I invite you into our virtual space so that we move into this state of not only reconnection consciously, but of remembrance who we are, and in so doing, garner tools and tips to use in our lives so that we continue to empower ourselves into a spiritual awakening on our journey of life. I'm going to put on the screen now our opening slides so that we may move into the service right where we are. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. A big continued hello to each and every one of you, and we like to begin our service on Sunday mornings with the act of namaste. I was just having a conversation with a friend the other day about namaste, and he was asking me, what does it really mean? It was actually last Sunday, and I said, I can tell you, because in the CSL-LA opening service, we move into an act of namaste. Its origin is of Sanskrit, and its true meaning, based on our understanding of Sanskrit at the time, is I bow to thee. This act of bowing is not an act of supplication, it's an act of acknowledgement. It's an act of honoring. It's an act of connection to the power that exists within each and every one of us. As I say so often on Sunday mornings, the modern incarnation of the term namaste means the God in me honors and acknowledges that which is within you. And as you put your hands in prayer position and bow forward, I know that you do the same for me, and I receive it. It's a conscious acknowledgement of that connection that we share and the flow of life that is constantly on the move by means of each one of us. So let's all take a deep breath in together. Put our hands together in that prayer position, placing on our heart, bending forward, exhaling, and saying together, Namaste. It's a pleasure to have you here as we honor each and all expressions of life. As a community, we welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities, all of life itself. We stand with you in person, shoulder to shoulder, in this virtual space, energy to energy, acknowledging that just as you are, God is, and that we each have the distinct pleasure and opportunity to fulfill one of my favorite Science of Mind quotes by Ernest Holmes, which is, "Spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you." We teach in our philosophy, faith, and way of life that our word has power, that as we use our word and our voice, that it creates a resonance field of energy that moves out and makes an impact on the universe and all that we encounter. Our affirmation that we start with in regards to this is, we welcome one and welcome all. I invite you to say that out loud with me now. We welcome one and we welcome all. As a community, we come together to teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the Science of Mind. The Science of Mind at its core is all about oneness. You'll hear often referred in this teaching to one life, one thought, one mind, one God, one expression of life that we each individualize. This oneness is that core teaching of who and what we are, and that we call that oneness, that power, God, source, the thing itself, or life. We get to experience it, our divinity, if you will, to the degree that we are constantly fine-tuning our thinking, our humanity, and how we act, interact, react with the thing itself. It's important for us to practice our fine-tuning and expressing our divinity, because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law. What that means is that there is that law of life that responds to us by corresponding to our state of being. What drew me into this teaching initially was the basic statement of change your thinking, change your life. So what it's telling us here is that there is a universal law in life that responds to that thinking, that being. And so you and I have the pleasure to constantly be attending to that which we are thinking and how we express our divinity. As we evolve in this teaching, we understand at a greater level than ever before that we are indeed expressing the power of life, the thing itself, the source, the God. And that through our journey, we have the opportunity to become more spiritually awake. And should we choose to allow that to be our journey, then we have an opportunity for finding personal self-empowerment. Once again, the vision statement for our community is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. Today, I invite each and every one of us to become more awakened to the power of the divine that exists by means of each one of us. Our morning ritual is called Calling in the Light. We like to use that as the second phase of the opening of our service. Normally I would have music playing in the background right now, but Zoom's been acting funky again, and when I used it in rehearsal, it cut the screen off. So I'm going to keep the screen up, and let's all just choose to hear music in the background. as we move into this ritual, calling in the light. Let's open our minds to know that as we focus on the flame of the orb on the screen, let's perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. And fundamental to this is the oneness of life. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. And so as we feel the vibration shift during this experience of focus, of openness, of receptivity, may we each become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and it includes me. I'd like to affirm the Sanskrit proverb this morning as a declaration for each of us to use as we begin this day, no matter where we are, begin anew, meaning by opening up our minds and letting it be a guide for us throughout the day. It states, "Look at this day, for it is life, the very life of life. In its brief course lie all the realities and truths of existence, the joy of growth, the splendor of action, and the glory of power. For yesterday is but a memory, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today well lived makes yesterday a memory of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day." I affirm for each of us that we choose to look well to this day as we navigate it, no matter what's unfolding on our planet today with all of the challenges that exist. Let's all remember that we are indeed one family. We shall continue this ritual by singing the song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." Jamie's going to come on and join us and guide that through that, and the lyrics are on the screen, and I invite you to sing along.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with another in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so it is. You know, I've shared in the last couple of Sundays that since the war in Israel has broken out, that my mantra has been, "Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me." And attempting as much as possible, as I remember, to choose that as a way of life, you know, to remember all of the things I've learned over the years of peace is a state of inner calm, that peace, using the acronym purposeful energy, activates conscious evolution, of thinking before I speak, of being conscientious before I act, and to really be open to a new sense of compassion for others and feeling love. You know, that background that you have there of just the flickers of light is so symbolic of that, really, of life in action, of that there is a light walking everywhere, of those before us, and we never know what their story or history is, or how the effects of the world are affecting them.
How true is that? How true is that? Recognizing the light um, within each one of ourselves, and I feel like culturally we're not taught to recognize that light.
Hmm.
But in the culture of Science of Mind, of Center for Spiritual Living, we're taught that the light that we seek is within us. It's not out there.
Right.
So yeah, so true.
Yeah. And then to honor that light in others, right,
Yes,
to the best of
absolutely,
our ability.
absolutely. Not only to witness in ourselves, but to witness in them.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking earlier in rehearsal. You were asking about our beloved Andy, and who's going through health challenges, and Doug, who we had the great pleasure of seeing, Doug LeBeau, Reverend Doug LeBeau, who you were at his house right in his studio in Michigan. So about his wife's family who's going through health challenges, and um, I'm doing a memorial service, and it seems that there is an activity of all of us, a lot of us, depending on where we're at chronologically in life, but we're confronted with the opposite of life as we know it in human form. So I think it really provides to us the both opportunity and a catalyst to constantly be questioning what we believe and how we want to express life
Yeah,
and honor that in others.
yeah, absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
song are you singing for us next?
What song am I singing for you next? What comes to mind is actually there were two songs that came to mind, but I think you suggested it. It's like I think that a John Lennon song at
Hmm,
this point would be appropriate.
perfect. Is it Imagine?
Oh, just imagine. Yes.
Ah, just one of my favorite songs. Well, take it away. You know I love your version of it.
Thank you, Reverend Keith. I appreciate it. Imagine we're in heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. There's nothing to kill or die for. And no religion to imagine all the people sharing all the world to you. You may say that I am a dreamer, but I know I'm not the only one, 'cause I know this day they'll all join us, and the world is one. Imagine no possessions can. No need for greed or hunger. We are a brotherhood and sisterhood of man. Imagine all of the people sharing all the world. You may say that I am a dreamer, but I know, yes, I know I'm not the only one. 'Cause I know this day they all join us, and the world will live as one. No, you may say that I am a dreamer, but I know I'm not the only one. I know this day they'll all join us, 'cause the world is one. Oh, just imagine. Just imagine.
So provoking in such a loving, loving, loving way. And each word and energy behind those lyrics carried me on a journey. I'm assuming that I noticed it did for you as well. And I know it does for everyone. Thank you, Jamie. Those lyrics are such an instruction for each of us to open ourselves up to use the power of mind, of imagination, of dreaming in a new way. And when I say a new way, meaning that which we've never done before, and even if it's a repetition of something that we think we've used before, we're meeting it in a new consciousness, a consciousness of where we are evolving individually and collectively as consciousness, as we teach here. And also the experiences that are unfolding in life that we respond to are new. And so they may appear to be somewhat like something that has happened before, but it has to be new because that's the way life works. And so today I am going to use a multimedia slideshow that we've used some of it, if not all of it, before. But I want to use it as a tool and a foundation for us to begin to use the power of our mind in a way to begin to curate and create for ourselves a state of mind where we can imagine this world of being in harmony and where the horrors of what's unfolding in life can either diminish or certainly we can change the way that we engage in life on an everyday basis and cultivate a consciousness of peace or love or whatever it is that we each desire. I'm going to place on the screen the slideshow and we're going to begin. And so as we wrap up our theme of the month, Fall Forward, it's been my intention this entire month to have us look at the falling forward. Obviously a play on the word fall, and no matter where you're at right now, I'm sure you're feeling fall. We have congregants in Colorado that sent me photographs of snow on their back deck today, and Jamie's in Michigan where I know it's cold, and here in Southern California it's chillier than it's been so far this year. That we certainly experienced the season of fall, but the concept of fall forward is that no matter what's going on in life, that when stuff happens, that our objective in life is to fall forward, meaning to move into an evolving state of consciousness as opposed to falling backwards, reverting into an old ideology, an old state of mind, an old sense of being. So as we wrap that up today, our message is titled Planting Seeds and Harvesting Good. I'd like to begin with not only the visual of seeds emerging from the earth, knowing that that is the intelligence within them to do that, and we can all relate to that in the physical sense, but to begin to look at it through a metaphysical sense and use this quote from the great Deepak Chopra, which is, desires are seeds waiting for their season to sprout. From a single seed of desire, whole forests grow. Building upon the lyrics of Imagine, let's look at it as if we each desire for there to be less war, less greed, less hunger in our world, and it begins right here with us. Let there be peace. Let there be comfort. Let there be love on earth, and let it begin with me. That begins by holding the intention or the desire for that, and then trusting the universe of the season for that to sprout. Remember, our role in the co-creative process is to foster, to develop the consciousness, the ideology, the mindset of that which we desire, and to allow the law of life, the universe, to bring forth that experience through us. Mr. Chopra here is telling us that from a single seed of desire, a whole forest grow. That because we're all interconnected, that which we hold in consciousness has the capacity, the possibility of growing more than just one tree, if you will, from that seed. That its interconnectedness and its ability to both be fruitful and grow is inherent within it. That is the same for all of those qualities of the divine that you and I desire to experience in life can only unfold as we are choosing to express them. This next quote tells us to be careful with what seeds you allow to take root in the garden of your heart, for not all seeds bear good fruit, and we know that and we understand the meaning of that. So today, let's let today be the day that we choose the seeds that we desire to have become the fruit, the harvest, the forest in our life. Dr. Ernest Holmes wrote, the founder of the Science of Mind and How to Change Your Life, this regarding planting seeds. He says, in your spiritual garden, you're always planting something, desires, longings, and hopes, or fears and worries. There's no special season set aside for this kind of planting. Therefore, the subjective mind, soil, must be in the right condition all the time. In preparing for today and reading this statement, it keeps ringing so true for me of the importance of that we are, to the best of our ability, do our soil work, our subjective mind work all the time, so that as my teacher used to always say, make sure you prayed up, baby. He didn't add the baby, I did, but I think it adds an element to it that's of great importance. But that to constantly be working on our overall state of being, so that as life shows up for us, we're prepared and ready. He says the subjective mind soil must be in the right condition all the time. To remember, you are always planting, and you cannot afford to have the good seeds dropped into soil that contains a mass of weeds. Yesterday afternoon, after preparing this, I was sitting outside and playing fetch with Sweeney, as she just loves to do, and I'm so proud of how she catches the ball in midair after the third bounce. But I was looking at this planter on my entry, and the gardener and I have been tending to it, trying to get it to grow, and I realized, and they're never doing well, and I thought, maybe it's the soil. We've been working so hard at trying to make the plant work, and maybe it's time for the soil to be replaced. You and I don't think it's time for us to replace our soil and subjective mind, because that's an impossibility, but we can nurture that soil so that it becomes more rich in its fertility. Holmes goes on to tell us you cannot afford to plant bad seeds, thoughts of negation, worries, fears, angers, hates, and resentments. Such seeds will grow just as rapidly as the good seeds and will bring forth a crop of problems just as surely and abundantly. The soil of the garden has no power or inclination to reject bad seeds while accepting good ones. Similarly, your subjective mind, the creative medium of law, also is entirely impersonal and will just as readily take your negations and produce for you a crop of illness, poverty, hardship, difficulty, or inharmony. We all know that innately, that that's the way this impersonal law of life works. And so we have the ability to plant seeds or think of that which is opposite or contrary to the illness, the poverty, the hardship, the difficulty, or inharmony. Holmes goes on to say then, so be careful, as he wags his metaphysical finger at us, about your planting. Be careful about your planting. As simplistic and fundamental and foundational as this is to our teaching, I think it's important for us to hear today and to be reminded that we are constantly planting seeds in the soil of our subjective mind, and that we have the opportunity with every thought, action, reaction, and interaction to change our thinking and therefore change our mind. To look at that cute little pot of soil on the screen and see it blooming into beauty and to ask ourselves, is that what's about to unfold in our life based on the way that we've been thinking and the way that we choose to begin thinking right now? Rumi tells us that with every breath, I plant the seeds of devotion. This as an affirmation. I am a farmer of the heart. I invite us all to use that as an affirmation as we make a choice today and a commitment and a covenant to begin planting seeds that are reflective of our divinity, to come from love, to come from peace, to come from the desire and the intent to live life reflective of the lyrics of Imagine. Let's hear it again as an affirmation. With every breath, I plant the seeds of devotion. I'm a farmer of the heart. Rumi also tells us to use this affirmation of, in this earth, in this soil, in this pure field, let's not plant any seed other than seeds of compassion and love. If you and I were to commit today to let compassion and love be our guide for the next day, week, 21 days, since that's the time frame that it takes for a pattern to become real in our life. What if it were of compassion? You've heard me say this 100 times, that I like to look at the word compassion as come, pass, I, on. Meaning that when we live with the awareness that we're intentionally passing on our divinity in life, that changes our state of mind. And because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law, meaning that law responds to us by corresponding to our state of being and our intention, that when we live this way, we're planting seeds that must grow as love. Love, not solely as that human emotion or even just an awareness, as Dr. David Hawkins says, but fulfilling the destiny of love as the seed of love, as Dr. Holmes tells us that love is the self-givingness of spirit whose desire is to propagate more of itself. That's a paraphrasing that quote. But if we were to look at living life from a state of compassion, of passing on our divinity, while understanding that the law of life responds to us by corresponding, and what we are desiring to honor is love, that as we choose to live that way, what we are being the channel for, if lack of a better term, is spirit, propagating more of itself out of itself through us. And we acknowledged earlier in our ritual that we call life spirit, and that spirit is that essence of thing that we all share, the oneness. So today I invite us all to become more aware, more conscious, more cognizant, and more purposeful and intention of how we are living our life as the journey of planting seeds. we've seen this visual before, and I love it, of Snoopy planting the seeds and his little support guy, who I can't remember the name of right now. I always forget his name. Covering them up so that that subjective mind, the soil, does its things. But as we move along this journey of planting seeds, let's make a commitment to do the life of compassion, passing that eye on, and remembering that in our teaching, there are qualities that we say that we are imbued with, which include these following, but not limited to it. And so as you and I choose to honor those qualities of peace and of power and of beauty and of joy and of light and of life and of love, of course, and wisdom, that these all create an energy field, a vibratory existence, if you will, that's radiating and manifesting from us. And not only are we planting these seeds in consciousness to be made manifest, but as we navigate life, live our life of humanity while expressing our divinity and owning it, we are indeed radiating and propagating and honoring and acknowledge peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom within all aspects of life. Walk in the namaste is really what we're doing there. Walk in the namaste. And to remember that this law of life that responds to us by corresponding, it may not be an instantaneous response. But our role here is to plant these seeds and to set the intention and hold the idea and imagine its possibility. We're told here by the image on the screen to remember that the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit. But let's remember to eat the fruit, metaphorically speaking, and maybe literally, we have to plant the seed. The fruit is a result of the seed. And to remember that along this journey, as Aristotle tells us, that patience is bitter, but the fruit is sweet. And I'm sure for many of us, we oftentimes say patience is not a gift I was given, and yet we have the ability to cultivate that, to nurture it, to own it, to imagine it as possible, and then plant the seed of it and allow it to become real. You know, my teacher, Dr. David Walker, I can remember him used to telling us that when we were not clear on something, to do treatment work around clarity regarding clarity. And using that analogy, I think it's important for us when we think we're not patient beings to begin to set the intention to be patient around expressing and experiencing patience. And through that journey, that seed must become fruit and bear it in our life so that we get to experience it. We're all on a journey of harvesting that fruit. I love this little comic that we've used before, and I'll use it again when the young child says to the dad, "Sorry, Dad, I thought we were going to pick a phone," meaning that his dad said to him, "All right, we're going to get you an apple." And the dude thought it was a phone, and yet it's a real apple. What I think that reminds us of is, A, that it's always important to have lightheartedness and joy on the journey, but also to remember that the fruit that we desire to experience will indeed be there when we head out to it once the seed has done its thing. We're all on a journey of planting. And that latter experience is getting to harvest the good that we've set the seeds for, planted the seeds for. In the article, The Secret to Harvesting the Life You Want is found in your choices. Ann Baylor writes, she says, if I ask you what comes to mind when I talk about sowing seeds, I think most of us would think of farming and gardening. I grew up in the farming world, she said, as did I as well on some levels, and I'm grateful for my understanding of sowing and harvesting. It helped me understand the lessons I learned later in life about the choices I make. In gardening, you sow a particular seed to get the crop you want, albeit an apple, a cherry red apple, or an Apple iPhone. The seed you plant is the exact crop you will harvest. You can also sow seeds for the quality of your life and the direction of your future. There are seeds we plant and harvest that impact our spiritual and emotional well-being. Even though I understand sowing and harvesting in the gardening world, I had very little understanding of what it meant in my emotional and spiritual life. I found myself in a place I became all too familiar with asking the question, how did I get here? You might be familiar with this place. The not so simple answer is I found myself in that place because of the seeds I sowed. And the seeds in this case are the choices that I make. We all are always at choice. And it sounds to me like Anne was seemingly both proud of the choices she had made and maybe not so proud. It's important for you and I to remember that we are always at choice, just as Tatiana from RuPaul's Drag Race is telling us on the screen. She goes, choices. I love this because once again, in the lightheartedness, it reminds us that we are always at choice. And that by becoming more acutely aware of that which we're choosing, we can set the direction of the life we want. We can plant the seeds and of the desires of the things that we wish to experience in life. You've heard me say this numerous times, and since we are on a morning of foundational components of the teachings of the science of mind, this great quote by Zeri Zukov, which is, choice is the engine of evolution. If you choose unconsciously, you will evolve unconsciously. If you choose consciously, you will evolve consciously. Choosing to evolve consciously is much better than unconsciously and most often far less painful. Trust me, been there, done that. Let's you and I today make a choice right now to be gentler, to be kinder, to be more loving, to be intentional, to be purposeful, to be forgiving, and to be decisive around the state of being that we would like to experience and express. We're being told on the screen here that there are so many choices. Homer's saying, oh my God, there are so many choices. And yes, there are, but we also have the ability to make a decision, make a choice, set the intention, and feel it out. And if we don't like that choice, we get to make another choice. That's the case no matter where we're at in life, whether we're dealing with something that appears to be catastrophic, or if it comes time to having decided at 3 o'clock that we're going to have pasta for dinner, and then at 7 o'clock decide that we simply just want cucumbers and olives. I know that's an odd way of looking at it, but it's important for us to bring it down to that very basic element of life that we are always at choice, and that choices create chances or opportunities which create changes. That when you and I become more tuned into the choices that we're making in life, i.e. the seeds that we're planting in our state of mind, then we get to step into the opportunities of life, of being a director, if you will, in the state of being, our state of mind in life, thus affecting what our experiences will be like in life and ultimately then how we respond to those experiences. You and I get to decide that in this journey of harvesting the results of the seeds that have been planted in life, whether we choose that that's good or not. And to remember that it's good if we make that decision, and there's great joy in harvesting this good. And to remember, it all goes back to the seed. We're taught that if you want to grow an apple tree, you must plant an apple seed. If you want to grow an orange, you must plant an orange seed. If you want to experience clarity, you must practice clarity. If you want to experience equanimity, you must practice equanimity. If you want to experience transformation, you must plant the seeds of possibility. Today, let's you and I remember this journey of how a plant grows from a seed. There are stages in its evolution of expression, and that's the case for you and I as well. And so today, let's remember to don't judge each day by the harvest that we're reaping, but by the seeds that we're planting. To consistently and constantly be planting seeds and knowing that the harvest is on its way. The great John Roger, creator of the Insight Seminars, tells us that all living things are individual instruments through which spirit thinks, speaks, acts, and reveals itself. We're all interrelated in a common accord and common purpose and common good. We're members of a vast cosmic orchestra in which each living instrument is essential to the complementary and harmonious playing of the whole. It's important for us to remember that as we continue navigating life itself, of planting seeds and harvesting good, of being that conscious, conscientious, purposeful individual who's falling forward in every step of the way in life. To remember that we have the opportunity to be softer and easier and yet purposeful in that which we choose. Today is the day that you and I get to plant seeds for ourselves and for all of humanity. And let's choose to let that seed be one of peace. Let's remember that as we say, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, that act is planting the seed. Thank you. And so it is. I'm going to bring Jamie back to sing another song for us.
Amen. 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 Thank you, Keith. Planting the seeds, planting the seeds. And when we recognize that we are the harvest. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. Oh, I am that I am. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, I am that I am. 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 We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the love that we seek. We are the seeds we are sowing. We are the harvest we reap. Oh, we are the harvest we reap. We are the harvest we reap.
That song is such a perfect way to wrap up that message.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are the harvest. We are the seeds. You know, as you were singing that, I was thinking of all the individuals who are out protesting across certainly our nation and I believe in the world today. And I find it so endearing to know that individuals are out speaking their voice and their truth in that way, that there seems to be such great compassion for humanity in regards to that. And so that anthem of "We are the harvest and we are the seeds that we plant" is a great song for that. It's declaring that we are going to live out our intentions and our desires and our affirmation for humanity itself.
Yeah. Amen.
Good, good, good. Well, thank you for being here today, Jamie. It's wonderful to have you join us, and I affirm for you that the remainder of your time in Michigan is wonderful. And I know that you're about to, when you get back into, well, you're not coming back to Southern California, you're going out on tour. So that your tour with Gary Lynn Floyd is one of success and happiness and joy and safety and prosperity and abundance and creativity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll tell him you told me so.
And so, a big thank you to all of you for being here today, and a big thank you to Travis Smith, our audio technician, who's joining us from Vegas today. And then we have Robert Hensley, our administrative assistant, who I believe is joining us from Pennsylvania. We have people from all over the U.S. of A. today supporting us in our service and the opportunity to present to each and every one of us this format known as the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles in its technical format. I want to remind you that if you'd like to support us financially, you can go to our website, CSL-LA.org, and click on donate, and or you can use our app in the App Store. It's a wonderfully updated and very user-friendly app known as Center for Spiritual Living. You can find that in the App Store. You can also find all of that information on our website, csl-la.org. Also, I'd like to encourage you to follow us on social media through Facebook, and we have a new Facebook group. We've invited many of you to join. If you're on Facebook, which I know many of you are, please look in your groups and invitations to join that group. It's one where we're doing some interactive stuff, and you can find that through our Facebook page, Center for Spiritual Living, I believe is how it's named. Also, we are on Instagram, and we have our own YouTube channel, which we are streaming live on right now, which has our past services archived, and on our Facebook page, our past midweek morning meditations. I invite you to join us for those, which take place on Wednesday morning at 8:30 a.m. And it's a great place to connect, to heal, and to learn a little bit about meditation and guided meditation. Continually, we have the New Thought text for the day that goes out each morning at 7:30 a.m. I invite you to sign up for that if you haven't, and if you are receiving those, please share those with your friends. Also, our weekly newsletter goes up first part of the week. I want to remind you that next Sunday is the time change, so we fall back. We've been falling forward for a month, and this time we fall back Saturday night, so just put that in your calendar for the following Sunday. And then the following Sunday after that, November 12th, I believe it is, we're back in person at our home at 1200 North La Brea Avenue in person. I look forward to having you all with us there. I think I've covered it all. So we'd like to close out with a meditation and a spiritual mind treatment, and let's use that as an opportunity to allow what we've absorbed today to be anchored into our existence, and we shall grow from there. And now Zoom's behaving. I love it. So it's letting me do this. But that's not the right song. We don't want to listen to Chris Isaac right now. So here we go. So whether you're joining us through YouTube or Facebook, I invite you, if you're in a safe place right now, to close your eyes and feel the power and the presence of the divine that exists by means of each one of us. As we use our imagination to plant the seed of compassion and of love. To make a choice right now to think differently, not judging anything prior to now, but just to think more in alignment with our divine nature and to have our actions reflect that. To be peace, to feel power, to honor joy, to see beauty, to radiate light, to express love, to honor life, and to let the wisdom of the divine that we're each imbued with guide us on this journey. To release anything in our mind, soul, or being that appears to hold us back or to recreate past experiences or feelings of less than. We let them go. And as we release and consciously detach from that energy, we open up to energies and vibratory feelings of the oneness of life itself. Excuse me, we honor life. We honor each other. We bow to the power within and say to it, in declaration and invitation, use me. Use me. Use me. And we allow that to unfold through us and as us. And in so doing, we ready ourselves to harvest the good that is our life, that's in our life, and becoming more and more abundant as our life. We make conscious, evolutionary oriented choices. And let it be. And so it is. Thank you. Have a fantastic Sunday. Know that you're loved and that you are loved. And life is good and you're good in it. And so it is. Namaste.